Back on Inside Tennessee, Mark Cunningham of Beacon Center of Tennessee with us about this new poll that is out this week. And you can read the full poll at our website or theirs, ours, WBIR.com. Mark, let's move to the Senate race. This is coming up in the next year. And if the Senate election were held today, you asked, would you vote for Blackburn or Bradshaw? This is Marquita Bradshaw, who has been a candidate before. And she has been an activist in the Memphis area, and so her name is somewhat familiar, but take a look at that. So it's, I'm thinking 48 to 38.
36.
36, sorry. And then let's move quickly to the other one if we could, and this is against Johnson, and this is Representative Johnson of Knoxville, who has announced her candidacy for Senate against Blackburn. And you see, she's actually polling under what Marquita Bradshaw is, 49 to 29. So, Mark, let's talk about that discrepancy, because that may surprise some people, especially in this area, thinking that Representative Johnson's name recognition across the state would be higher.
That's right, and actually it's the exact opposite. Gloria Johnson has never been on a statewide ballot before, so you see she does not poll as well in Middle or West Tennessee. And Marquita Bradshaw has been on a statewide ballot. She's run for Senate. People in Memphis know and generally like her. So this was really surprising, I think, to a lot of people, but anybody kind of paying attention realizes she's a strong and formidable candidate, and I would urge the media not to count her out like they did in 2020, because she could win this primary.
Well, we all counted her out in 2020. I'll be the first to admit.
Yeah.
We all in the primary. We all thought it would be James Mackler, and you know he looked like he was going to win. Everybody thought, and he came in third, and we were all struggling to properly pronounce Marquita's first name, and but she did win the primary, and she did. And while she was beaten fairly soundly in the general, you know, she's getting into the mix. And so, but I still think Gloria's raised a lot of money. She's not going to make the mistakes Mackler made. I think she'll run hard in the primary to make sure she wins the primary, and then count on the national attention she's received to raise more money to run effectively in the general.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, she's already raised over $1 million, and I'm guessing Marquita has probably not raised $10,000.
She won on $25,000 4 years
ago. So that will change, I suspect, in your next poll or maybe the next one after that. But yeah, both Gloria's a tough campaigner, and she's going to have the money. We know she's going to get a lot of national PAC money coming in here, so I suspect we'll see a big change in that.
One observation I might make: Bradshaw's campaign has always not been the most organized, and I suspect that Gloria Johnson will be better organized because that's just kind of how she is. I think she was an organizer for Obama.
Well, and I'm not sure that Marquita had run a campaign until 4 years ago. I'm not aware of one. But Gloria's run a bunch, and she's run some really hard ones. Again, locally, Mark, as you point out, and you're right, she, even despite her recent national attention, she's got to catch fire in West and Middle Tennessee.
If for some reason one of them dropped out, that's still not going to do a whole lot for their numbers against Senator Blackburn.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of undecided voters, though, which I think is worth noting. So there actually is a lot more room for Gloria Johnson to grow. She has 23% undecided, where Marquita Bradshaw, if you look at her numbers, she might be kind of at the top of where she can be, because a lot of the undecided voters tend to lean a little bit right, where if they had to pull if they had to do it tomorrow, they might vote for Blackburn.
Yeah, I noted that Marsha Blackburn only was 1 point higher against Gloria than she was against Marquita, which again tells me that undecided voter, if Gloria can swing that person, she might get in this race.
Back to one of Susan's points, you will ask again about this race, is that correct?
We will. We're actually going to do the primary election next time, so we'll see where they stand. We're going to hopefully be able to sample a little bit more of the Democratic side so we get a bigger number to see that with.
Let's move to Governor Bill Lee, who is in his second term, and his popularity, and let's see how he's doing. And you can see the numbers there. Do you approve or disapprove of his job? He's at 47 approving, and Mark, just put that number into context for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good number. When you're saying plus 22 approved, there's a lot of people who are not sure. They're neutral about him. So there's people say, I like some of what he did, I don't like all of what he did, where they view themselves as neutral. One interesting fact is he actually did better among Democrats than you would think. He's a minus 27% among Democrats, which really is pretty good for a Republican governor in a Republican state.
Did you poll this the last time you took a poll?
We did not. We did the legislature.
Because my thought is at least prior to his reelection for his second term, he might have polled higher then than he is now. Because again, Susan and I off air, we think maybe that there's some dissatisfaction on both sides, right? Certainly the Democrat side, but maybe a little general dissatisfaction that might not be reflected in that poll. That's why I was curious.
And I think that's right. I mean, what I hear among my friends are people were concerned about the special session, about the guns, the Covenant shooting, all of that, that they didn't see the leadership that they expected out of the governor. So some of those numbers may be a reflection of that.
Yeah, if you look at it, I mean, he got almost 70% when he ran last time. He's somewhat close to 70%.
Right.
So based on that number, there's a lot more people who are neutral who might be in that camp.
But there's 27% that really don't know either way.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, they like some things, don't like other things. Yeah, they're neutral on him.
Or don't know who the governor is.
Yeah, that's true
Well,
too.
I was going to say, you could ask the question, who is the governor
Right.
of Tennessee? And you
might
could
get
throw like Phil
27.
Haslam's name in there and maybe some others and see
Ray
what the
Blanton,
response
who
is.
knows? So,
There you go.
Ray Blanton.
Don Bosch. You know,
I'm
we've
sorry,
got
I'm on
lots
a
of
roll
choices.
this morning. Yeah.
All right. Let's move to this. It is an interesting question because there's been a lot of discussion of this nationally. What is the maximum age for an elected official to run for office? And essentially, should there be an age limit? And look at that number. 80% of people say yes, there should be an age limit to run for elected office. Mark?
It's all across the board. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everyone thinks there should be a maximum age limit. There's a minimum age limit. You got to be 35. And a lot of people think, with two older, geriatric type candidates, that there should be a maximum age too.
It wasn't asked, it was to run, not serve, though.
It didn't actually say specifically, I don't think.
Run
versus serve.
Yeah, I guess
Because
you
I
can
looked
argue.
at it.
Yeah, you can argue this. Yeah, but it's ultimately, I mean, in our mind,
For
it's
the
to run.
position.
Sneak in there a day
Yeah,
early.
that's right.
Because what it
you'll
said
sign
was
off if you're 80 if you're a
for
senator.
the position of
That's
I
right.
thought that was a
Yeah,
great
in our
question.
mind, we think run, I guess, is how we would view
that was
that.
a really
You have to
great
have
question.
a constitutional amendment,
No.
which would take a
Yeah.
long time to get done.
It strikes me as one of those questions that everybody has an opinion about, but they wouldn't dare change
dare.
it.
Actually, as the lawyer, and I just thought through what you said, states may be able to place an age restriction, and I don't know, I'd have to research it, but
I
an
bet
age
not.
restriction on their candidates. Well, state can, by party nomination decide who's going to run, not by general election for Senate.
Yeah, but the
We've had that
Constitution's-
fight years ago with Frank Nicely. I understand.
Constitution does set out
It does set minimum
35,
ages.
yeah, you got
but-
minimum ages, and so I think you would. But
Good question we can
be a good
ponder next
question.
week, yeah.
And we're going to get to some other questions. What about name, image, likeness? Who are the most obnoxious fans in the SEC? We're going to have the answer to that when we come back.
I know.
Yeah. I know the answer to that.